I don't know if I'm going to go with I came willingly tonight.
Willingly enough.
Look, all I was doing was just sitting in a Skype call, hanging out with Horton, and then Brad comes in and is like, "Yo, you're on stream tonight." And I was like, "Okay."
It seems like no way that I would ever do this.
No.
Seems like the only way you would do this. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's how my clocks work in Ohio. 5-minute countdown, 2 seconds later, in like Flynn. I wanted to show some hobby stuff today. I'd love people to send me in some stuff. I was wildly busy today and did not get everything super set up. I do love all the backgrounds we have tonight. And I'm going to start with, check this out. First off, I see pictures appearing.
I was grabbing some stuff there, sir.
Ooh, that's cool. That is cool indeed. That might even be the bee's knees.
Ooh.
Ooh. Are you gonna make all the things that you're making as your background?
No, I'm gonna start putting. I'm gonna put them right over top of my head. I have a couple.
Okay.
I've got a couple things that I want to throw up here. I gotta hold, please. I gotta click off the emperor background here. Zoop, hold. I swear it's gonna all work out. Models. These are some of Josh Ford's work, and then we've got some of KR's work. I'm just gonna let it kind of cycle through. This is a bunch of freehand Josh Ford did, and then we've got a project that this Custodes here is some capes that Sean Naden did with some of KR Quintero's work that he did on his. See these big ass capes? Those are dreadnoughts. Those are big old dreadnoughts with awesome sauce capes on them. They are also have artwork on the outside and underneath and inside.
Bro, KR, you are. Was that KR's work or is that?
It's half and half. It's Sean did the cape, and KR did the actual dreadnought. So and he did a sick job. If you look close to the sword and stuff, like those are pretty badass. You know what I mean?
That apathic
fantastic.
So we got some super stuff. Yeah, I love it quite a bit on those. Like this, like you can see inside is a map of the stars and stuff. It's so cool. But I just love freehand stuff, and I love, like, man, we did this when I was doing the paint stream with Sean, and it took him some serious time to do these guys. But like, I love conversion type work, and as someone that doesn't see colors very well, I love seeing unique shit. You know what I mean? That's what gets my jam going. And speaking of unique shit, let's talk about these snow globes again. I showed a little bit yesterday when Brandon and I were working on them. He was working on them, and I was chatting about them. But like, these are just a unique little deal. You know what I mean? They've got the ones with the liquid inside them. They got the ones that are dry inside them. But I just dig stuff like this. Do you know what I mean? Just cool hobby stuff. You know what I mean?
I liked that he was taking some of his legend items.
Oh, he's just jamming it in. 100%.
Yeah, that was fun. I liked that. It was a nice use of something that, may not see the tabletop again anytime soon.
Yeah, but I dig that stuff, man. Oh, dude, that night KR. This is a good story on this one. So that night that I just showed you with all the freehand, Josh Ford's going to LVL, and he's asking me like, hey, what do they usually use for the paint river? Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And I go, if you want max score, your max chance to win, a good prize there, you're going to have to do some freehand and stuff like that. So he just immediately out of nowhere just goes, screw it. I'm just going to YOLO swag some freehand. And I'm like, between him and like Josh Ford, dudes like Naden, they just literally go, I was going to practice this or work on it, but I'm just going to make it work. Like
try having on your team, the Warhammer World Champion, Mike Fox, Matt Aaron, Mike Norton, Matt O'Hara, myself, Zuber, we're all great hobbyists, and like we keep bumping each other up by doing more and more and more. It's kind of insane.
It's just wild on that.
And a side I'd like to touch on is one of the coolest aspects of the game is now. When I first started wargaming, God, back when we used bones and toothpicks. Who remembers the Mech Warrior Hero Clicks game? Oh my god!
Bro, come on, that's I feel like that's recent, bro.
That's news.
That's new shit.
But back then, painting was so much more difficult because we didn't have the tools that we have now, right? Like, I would spend hours and hours and hours. I'll try to find an old picture so Brad can show it, of like trying to paint something, and it was so difficult because we didn't have YouTube out as much commonly to say, hey, this is how you should thin your paints. Hey, this is how you should wash or highlight.
You're saying before the time of Kenny telling everybody
Exactly.
showing everybody how to paint 40K.
But now
one of the big things that we used to always talk about, like kind of as one of the elder statesmen of 40K, was that there was a gate-kept community on painting. Because you would find someone in your local area that was like an amazing painter. You'd be like, oh, how do you do that? And he was like, well, I buy paints and paint it. We're like, nah, dude, we want to paint better. Can you help us out? And at the time, people were like, no, it's my secret. This is how I do things. Where now it's gotten to the point of, and I feel this on the community level, everyone's like, yeah, let me show you what I do. And this is my technique of what I do. And this is how I learned it. And that's come a long way. It is absolutely fantastic for the community.
And the thing is that I'm gonna add something. I'm just gonna add to the existing. Let me get a new one. This is.
That's all stuff I pulled off the Death or Glory hobby chat. The models I sent you there.
We've just got some really cool shit, man. It's like, no, nothing to see here. Just me making giant to the entire screen. If you wonder about is Brad bradding today, I'm bradding at maximum Brad.
It's all the Brad. Insert maximum Brad.
It's maximum Brad.
Let's see if I can find.
But this is some like awesome display board mojo right here. Like crazy time. This is from the GOG Hobbies. We've got that Bellicor. Dude, Bellicor is such a cool model. If you have him and you haven't painted him, what was on you? It's so cool. Yeah, I mean, these are just really badass also. I'm a huge display board junkie. That's why still Frosty Gaming. Uh-oh. Thanks for streaming on my page. Am I streaming on your page accidentally? I feel like I'm not. I might be. Who knows? I told you guys I'm maximum bradding tonight. I am not streaming onto your site right now. Or at least I'm not trying to stream onto your site right now. I'm streaming your stuff right now, Brandon. I've been showing your snow globes and other things. I'd like to show some... Brandon, send me your favorite display boards. I'll put them up in a slideshow also. It's tonight. One of the things I just wanted to showcase tonight, and I will do it the entire time we're on, is I wanted to show community models, not just people that are winning golden demons here and whatnot, but I wanted to show community projects, models that you're working. You know what I mean? Showcasing because we've got a lot of local talent. Not local talent, I guess, but like our group, our community. You know what I mean? Has people like totally rocking it out. Really? Why do I sell it out? Age-old adage of blow into it,
highly
fix
engaged
it.
And prepared stream we have here.
I was like, I'm trying to pull models for him to get him some.
Look, man, KR goes, you sound like a potato.
Of my work, so I can chew. Not the name of my work is good.
If I was in my game room, I would run up and grab stuff.
Oh, I can do that, but then I'd have to turn off my background, and that might get weird.
Well, when did KR told me I sounded like a potato, I said that I should probably...
Because that was my best conversion ever. have
I
one,
just
but
like
I
it.
don't know if my phone's gonna
I
be there
really
first.
like. Well, one,
mean,
yeah, I've said this
actually-
before, and I'll say it again. I'm a huge conversion.
If it comes to the point where I can't find a picture of it before my phone dies, I will absolutely go get that model off
Before
of the
my
shelf
phone
because it is my
dies.
most pride and joy out of anything I have ever
Mild
done
static.
/ painted.
Oh man, that's weird.
I haven't had a single TO turn it down yet.
How about now, kids?
That's a
I
good
want to
thing.
work on the.
Yeah.
I have my audio. My audio output. I have a filter on it. I have everything. I don't know.
But
why
no,
it's
but
not-
going back to what I was saying before, cap filler. I think that painting is so much more accessible nowadays, and I think that's one of my favorite parts. Because even if you're not an exceptional painter, you
Which
can
I am.
still get good results by base coating, by washing, a little bit of edge highlighting, or even slap chop. Even though most people, the slap chop phase or fad is now over, and everybody hates
what
slap
is?
chop again.
I don't know what that means. Tell me.
You
I
get
don't know what
such
slap
good
chop is.
results.
What is slap chop?
Oh gosh, Michael, don't make me grab my stress. That is not painted well because I painted those 3 at last second for a tournament at one point.
I don't understand what's happening. I have exactly the same settings I always have, but apparently all my sound's off for some reason.
Did Brad just abandon us?
No, he's here somewhere.
I'm here. I'm so here.
Did you mute yourself, Brad?
I did not mute myself.
Yeah, you're talking on mute on stream. Or you muted us so we can't hear you anymore, Brad.
I muted you. Yeah. There you go. By the way, they've heard me the whole time. I've been talking this whole time.
I wasn't meaning to talk
And
to
everyone
you,
else
but
besides me,
okay.
you guys are just being rude as shit to me. This is terrible. A bunch of
I was
dicks.
trying to put
Thought
that
these guys
air,
were my
man.
friends. Fuck. They're like, fuck him. Oh man.
So what did we talk over you on, Brad? My bad.
I was trying to fix sound. Apparently, that's why you clicked off stuff, because everybody said that there was a slight static, and I have my compressor and filters on and stuff like that. I haven't changed anything, and they said that you were louder than the rest, but that doesn't make any sense either. But good times.
All right, Brad. So I'm sending you some more images here.
But my big thing is like, I really want everybody to showcase their models. You know what I mean? I want to showcase the community's models. You know what I mean? And that means a lot to me. Oh, this is awesome. Okay, that's sick and super sweet. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, and more yes. Hold on, this is gonna work in just a moment, everyone. Because Brad is working it out.
So Brad, the first image I sent you was the first thing I ever painted where I actually tried super hard. And then the other images are my more recent work. Obviously, one's not 40K and the rest are 40K, so it's pretty easy.
No,
to
you're gonna
distinguish.
you guys carry this for just a moment while I set up the world's most amazing slideshow that's ever been presented ever. And that's what I'm gonna name it also, by the way.
I'm gonna go to the wall then so that we enjoy
To the window?
To the
wall. To the sweat drips. Anyway.
Oh, go to the wall till the sweat. No, I'm sorry. That meme was stuck in my head.
You know, I do what I do, what you did to me. What do we got? This is gonna be awesome. I've got so many pictures for this slideshow. You guys don't even know. You haven't even seen a slideshow this is awesome.
One of my favorite parts of the hobby now, though, is when you see somebody with a freaking awesome army. I always make a point of like going over and saying hi and introducing and then saying like, I love your stuff. Because there's like this joy inside of people when you recognize the time and effort that they put into their armies that like, I don't think it's like my favorite part of going to majors. Like I went around Nova just taking pictures of people's armies and being like, yeah, I'm probably going to show this on stream at some point. Are you cool with that? And they like glow up. Man, I should send you those pictures, Brad.
Really? Getting into that? Hold on. I'm currently putting together what I just put down as best slideshow ever, ever.
Rever, ever?
It's actually what it's called right now.
I love it.
Oh, why does it showing? I'm not ready for it to be showed. Oh, screw it. I'll just make it go faster. Okay, here we go. Oh.
It was not painted well. Here, I found some pictures of stuff I did.
When you were a wee lad?
So a bunch of the stuff I sent you was a set of, they did Talisman, what do they call it, for 40K. Relic, right. I think it was called. There were some busts from Relic that I sent you.
Yeah. We're doing stuff and or things.
Yep. So hopefully they look good.
Again, I'm making the world's best slideshow.
Hey Brad, I sent you some armies on parade from Nova too. Of my personal pictures, not their fancy schmancy stuff. You should appreciate that too.
Fancy schmancy.
Schmancy.
You are fancy schmancy. Thank you very much.
I try my best.
When I think fancy schmancy, I think Stephen Crawley.
Wow, your fancy has a low bar.
Wow!
Oh! Shots fired.
Man, I'm gonna go to your next tournament, Brian, and I'm gonna go in full work mode with like the whole suit and everything. I'll show you fancy and schmancy.
With finger painted models.
Oh! No.
Next thing
that's the opposite of fancy is fancy. That's Brad.
That's Brad Chester 416 Painting Services right there for you, my friend.
That's right.
All right.
I was so tempted, by the way, Brad, to finger paint an army for you and then bring it to an event and make you play that finger painted army.
I mean, you say that kind of stuff, and I'm like, and what's the downside?
Dude, I just got from Golden a whole bunch of their new neon paints. So they have like a big fluorescent, like a new fluorescent orange and pinks and all this stuff. And I'm just going, I need to paint an army with this for Brad so we can go, look, I can see the colors.
Bro, you know what you need to do? You need to do that before the next Nova. Did you see what the lighting was like at Nova?
I heard it was awful. I was not there, unfortunately.
Oh, Brian, I got to show you this picture. I will send it to you. Or it's in this. If Brad goes to the pictures that I took from Nova and puts them on there after the.
I'm working on it. I'm working on the best slideshow ever.
Well, in that slideshow.
So on the hobby side of things, Du Bois this year, we had some really impressive things that we did. I tried a couple different things this year. I broke out, instead of just having like best appearance award, like first, second, third best appearance, we had best appearance, first, second, third, which was a combination of your entire hobby. So painting, conversions, and all of that. And along with that, we did best painted, which was just looking at the painting of the models on a technical aspect. We did first and second place for that. And then we did best appearance fan vote. So where we took the stuff that was in the top 5 of the best appearance, put them up for everyone to vote on. And it was really well received by the community because they appreciated that, some guys we had a guy travel from California, a little harder to bring a display board to upstate New York. And it was nice to see the people get the appreciation for hey, yeah, that was great, because I didn't have time to put a display board together, but Jim Seidlinger's Death Guard is one of the best painted armies in our area, and his work's amazing. He just hasn't taken that next step on the display board. When he does, he's going to rival a lot of people. And it's really fun to see that aspect of the hobby growing to where I'm seeing more and more really good painted armies and a lot more stuff scoring really high on rubrics.
Dude, and you check out some of the stuff I just put up. Also, hold on. Peaches Destroyer, thank you for the $5 super chat. Having to clean up all 6 of my hens my daughter's dog eviscerated a little while ago. Any good news, rumors, and epicness involving Space Wolves would be great. And I love the follow-up of keyword was eviscerated, not killed.
I don't know why, but I'm really picturing that going, oh, yeah, that's something.
A proper evisceration.
Some of these models are fantastic. You see some of this big shit? You know what? I'm going to put these in stills because old Fighting Dice has sent some serious badassness to me, and it deserves a peek, a solid peek. I put this up. This is fantastic. You know what? We're just gonna look at some individual images now, because my slideshow mojo
Is not so mojo-y.
it's not very mojo. It's I'm having trouble keeping up, and also I didn't name any of the downloads, so they're just hard to figure out. But look at this pic, man.
Insert 30-second delay while we wait.
True story. Yeah, is 100% right. Chicken soup. Just saying.
Oh wow, that's really nice.
That is a great 30K lion.
You can cover us up. It's not that big a deal, Brad. I'm not a pretty.
I'm just trying to make it so that it's not the whole, off screen. But like, this is the one I want to show. I mean, I just did this as part of the slide. Actually, there's two I want to show. I'm going to show this. I'm just going to do them one at a time, and you will get to be ecstatic with them as I go. They've got a couple really fantastic ones, and I really, man, like this bad boy. I'm not even sure what this is. I just know it's cool as shit. And it's juicing me up. And then I'm going to follow that one.
That 30K lion was really cool.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to show you this drill close up.
That's Nagash.
That's
from
Nagash.
AOS.
Yeah.
Which is Nagash looks badass. That's all I'm saying.
He is badass too.
But check out this drill, by the way. It's not even a drill. It's literally a huge tank. But the biggest thing I saw in it was this drill. Blazow! Cowabunga, yo! You're about to get shot in the head with this thing. That might be the rules. That might not be the rules.
That definitely sounds like the rules, to be honest.
What? It could be. You don't know.
I'm agreeing with you.
I'm a huge conversion.
Great.
I'm a huge conversion nerd. These things are so badass.
That's a Bane Blade, a tectonic frag drill, the one of the orc scenery, or no, not the orc scenery, the Admech scenery things. Wow, that is a lot of kits together.
Yeah,
that's $350 worth of kits right there.
And look at this, and I'm gonna pull up a display board. Kaboom! Cowabunga, yo! This is badass. I just love shit like this. The hobby projects is, again, can't see paint that well. You know what I mean? Colors that well.
Light and Dice, that is your GSC Shadow Sword. I am impressed. That is so effing cool. Absolutely fantastic.
Amazing. I like that display board.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. It's just, LED lights. It's just, I love shit like this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I like that stuff. There's an interesting thing that I have about that stuff is when you're traveling, it's so difficult to bring that stuff along. And it weighs so heavily in some rubrics, it makes it really challenging because it's like, hey, I want to come to your tournament and I need to fly, but I can't bring my display board if I'm flying.
I guess, but it doesn't make it not cool.
You're not absolutely wrong. Cool. That's one of the reasons why, like I was saying for Du Bois, I broke stuff out.
Yeah.
And I think I don't think they're going to do that at all the big events, but it's really cool to see a lot of the mid-size events do that to where they can attract more players by going, hey, we're giving more awards. They may be, smaller. They may be more plaque driven or, medals or stuff along that line. But getting recognition for your hard work and your hobby is something that we all enjoy, whether it be the playing side of that or the hobby side of it. It's just something we all enjoy. And I mean, one thing I can say for Du Bois, we gave away Best in Faction awards for every faction that was there. And that was huge. I mean, you're talking about giving out 30 additional prizes, even though they were just medals that, they said Best in Faction on them. They were nice. They were, it gave you something to stick around for at the end, and it was fun.
Look at this Eldar Mojo. Who is this guy?
Brad, did you get the pictures of the display boards I sent you from Nova?
Yeah, I'm showing the display board of the Eldar with the webway gate.
That one was so cool.
Yeah, this one was all. It's just
Nova's lighting makes those display boards look so cool.
Yeah, because it was they have club lighting inside the. Yeah. I have to admit, out of anything that I did like or did not like at Nova, their club lighting made me have so many less headaches. It was fantastic. So it was a big deal on that. Now, I'm going to ask everybody, is the Eldar one better, or is the Tower of Power better?
The Tower of Power.
The Magnus, the literally full obelisk.
Your boy from up in New York that plays Thousand Suns, his full display board.
Oh yeah, his full display board's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that'll be on here soon. It has running water, by the way. I want everybody in the stream to know. The below the obelisk, you see the little like thing coming down the center where it comes into a well. That's running water.
This is so sweet looking.
Isn't it?
This is like bonkers town. This is making me actually want to not have a trash army.
I promised I was, if Nova is in the same facility, which I believe they are going to be in the same facility next year, I would paint something with a fluorescent color so that it would glow in that room. So I am excited to keep my promise.
Yeah, I mean, this is just bad. And the thing is like, I was talking about this earlier. I literally talked to two painters in a row. I talked to Matt Aaron and Josh Ford today, and it was a busy day. And we were talking about the beginnings of 40K was always an overall. You know what I mean? You had to have well-painted stuff. The overall trophy was the trophy. And how much harder it is to be good at both. There's just so few people that are amazing hobbyists and amazing on the table. You know what I mean? You have a handful of people I can think off the top of my head. And it should be celebrated, you know what I mean? It's really badass.
I agree.
Also, this artwork in the back is also pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably got at least one extra point for this. Tell me how you guys do score. Scouts, like, I hate rubrics, they're stupid, but how do you guys score paint? And what is the overall, like, what you should do with
So I've used over the years kind of a enhanced take of what Adepticon's rubric started out as, 15, 16 years ago. You look at, is the army painted? All right, is it painted to tabletop standard, right? GW tabletop standard. And then there's a score, there's a check mark for that of, it gets this many points. Is it painted to above tabletop standard? And if it goes above, it gets a check mark for that and then goes. And then I have what is a tough thing to do. It is a ton of subjective things from there. Is it highlighted? Is it blended seamlessly? Is there weathering? Is there this? And in each category, I might have a category worth 25 points. But you can earn 30 points in that category because there's some stuff that certain armies don't do. Like freehand work. You're not going to get a ton of freehand work on a Tyranid army, right? It's an organic thing. You can't do tons and tons of like artwork on them. That's just not what they're designed to do. So you have to have some spots for people to get points in other ways. Like weathering. I've seen that on a lot of armies where it's a check mark. Well, if you're playing, and I use Tyranids again as an example. If you're playing all Tyranids, outside of doing weathering up from the bases on the feet, there's not a ton otherwise you can do. Where like when you're playing AdMech or Necrons, you can do a ton of weathering on the vehicles and on the metal bits and stuff like that. Big thing for me, and this is there are tons of people in my area that have actually written me notes on the bottoms of their tanks. I pick up every tank when I'm judging painting, and I turn it over. And if it's just primer, I go, you didn't finish painting your vehicle.
True story. I've watched.
I've literally sat next to Horton while he was doing that.
And because it doesn't sound like a lot, because I know you don't see it on the tabletop, but when you're trying to strive for a really good paint job, ignoring 20% of the model just seems like something. Like if you prime it and dry brush it, right, and just bring your base color down, it's great. You at least put some effort into it and spent a few seconds on it. Even though it wasn't like a ton, it was something. It showed that you cared enough about the model. When I pick up a model and it's gray on the bottom and the bottoms of the treads aren't even primed, I just go, well, you don't care as much about everything. And that's one of those little ticks in my head of, didn't finish painting the model fully.
Since I'm not as good of a judge of painting as Horton is, generally I go by.
I learned from a many time Adepticon winning team for the Adepticon teams from Du Bois on how to judge painting and how to look at painting. And then after doing Du Bois for 10 years plus now and doing other events and going to events and talking with other very good painters, you just start to pick up on the stuff that, hey, yeah, you didn't do that. Like, one of the things when you're looking at conversions and stuff like that is, did you finish your conversion? Did you blend it in? Did you seamlessly do it? Because anyone can take a 3D bit and stick it on, and yes, that's a conversion. But did you blend that joint in that doesn't quite match up completely? Did you take a little bit of green stuff and work it in there? Great. You modified the gun, like use a termagant that I'm building Leviathan termagants right now. I need to convert a bunch of them because I'm not going to buy the upgrade, the current kit to get Strangleweb guns. Can I find a 3D printer person who's made one that'll work? Yeah, but I bought a couple different ones to try out to see if I liked any of them. They all don't fit right? Like, I still have to do conversion work, so why don't I just green stuff it from the get-go and convert what I've got? And those are little things you look at. Cleaning the mold lines off your models is something that when you're looking at overall appearance comes into effect. Because if you don't, look, somebody's going to miss a mold line somewhere on a 2,000 point army. It's bound to happen. May not be everyone, but people are going to do it.
Well,
you don't hold like one mold line against somebody, but like if every mold line on their army is still there and their clips are there,
let me ask
this.
this, because we got to thank you again, $5 super chat for Mana. This is I actually like this question quite a bit. And KR was already talking about his thoughts on conversions and stuff because he doesn't like being judged on it. And it goes, I struggle with some rubrics because they assume that certain things are, quote, good. Some folks like parade appearance or the stock models. And, other people like weathered look, you know what I mean? Like battle kind of thing. Some people like really clean. Myself, can't see colors. If I was doing it, I like converted models. You know what I mean? So like, what is there a set, or is it kind of subjective depending on where you go?
It is subjective on where you go. That's the unfortunate part of things is hobby is always going to be subjective, right? There is no one, like, I love all different paint styles, but I'm going to use Dave Koska, who has won Nova. He's won Du Bois. He's won Adepticon singles best appearance. Dave's army drives me nuts because I don't like that paint style, but I respect it because it's a ton of small, thin lines built up. It's a lined style. It is a metric ton of work. I have watched him paint everywhere. I've talked to him about the paint technique. I have learned his paint technique from him, and it takes immense amount of hours. I don't personally care for that style, but I respect its ability and what it looks like. At the end of the day, it's a gorgeous model. If I were to put that up for a fan vote at most events, his army pops. It looks great. People are going to fall in love with it. It's an amazing looking army. It's just not my style, but it scores really well in my rubric because I respect the artistic integrity of that. And I think some paint judges, and I've run into this in particular at some events I've gone to over the years, where that paint judge doesn't see your style or appreciate what you're doing, and you feel slighted by it. Because I've been a judge for a number of years, and I've gotten calls from people of like, oh man, they judged my score really harshly on this army, and I'm like, what armies did really well? And then people will send me pictures of armies, and I'm like, oh well, yeah, that's an impressive army. It looks really good. But you're sending me like his top 5 armies. All of his top 5 armies have tons of weathering, tons of conversion work, and tons of this, and all your stuff's crisp, clean, no weathering, factory showrooms to floor stuff. Clearly, the judge who did this went, I really liked weathering.
Yes.
It's not your fault. It's kind of the judge's point of view, which is tough because that's something you kind of have to play.
It's just hard because I feel like if you put that much work into it, I'd just be pissed if the hobby score was different where I go.
And that's why some people have gotten like I'll use one of my guys. Keith went to ACO. His army, like all of his shoulder pads, but a lot of his shoulder pads on his Death Watch are hand sculpted. You couldn't tell they weren't GW plastic for the Marine side of the shoulder pads, like the Ultramarine symbols and so on and so forth. He makes a lot of those. If you look at his handles on his weapons, there's wood grain on them. He has faux painted fabric lines in the fabric. It is absolutely impressive. He didn't make showcase and got really mad. And I'm like, someone didn't see that technique and that thing you put in. Did you talk to them about it? And he was like, yep, told me my stuff was too clean. And I'm like,
I mean, I think the best example is, I think GW does it in the way that I think is more favorite, and KR was talking about that too, in that they go around and they give you a grade that's 1 out of 3. That's, are you painted? Are you painted well? Do you have a wow factor? Right? You get one of those. Oh man, it's so dark in this room. I'll fix that in a second. I'm sorry. You get one of those 3. And then if you're in category 3, they'll put you in, sorry, Irv. They'll put you into showcase, and then they do the judging slow with multiple judges over the course of the night and have your army highlighted for everybody to see. And then you can ask the judges directly for feedback real easily in that circumstance. So, and I think that works really, really well. Short of that, I think player judging is best too.
So player judging's, unfortunately, and this is, I like players doing a fan vote. I love it. I think it's fantastic. But to do that as your overall vote for the entire event is tough, because I'm going to use this as an example. Let's say Tom gets an army commission painted, and it's absolutely fantastic. And we go to an event, and there's 56 DOG members there out of the 100 players. His make showcase, who do you think wins?
Yes, but tell me that you haven't heard of a single circumstance where somebody wasn't liked by the head person that was judging armies at an event, and the person's army was scored a little bit less because of the judge's personal opinion of the person that they were judging paint on.
And you know what? That does happen. I'm not going to knock it. I've tried to pride myself in not doing that.
Right. I'm not saying you.
No. I mean, that I'm just being honest. I try to pride myself in not doing that. Has that happened over the years? I'm sure I've gone, oh, look, it's down between 2 armies. I like that guy more than I like that guy. And on the rubric, they're the same score. Yeah. I'm not saying it hasn't happened in 20 years of judging stuff. I'm sure it has. I couldn't say that it hasn't. But at the same time, it's tough because checkbox rubrics are really easy to get checkbox and get the max score.
Yeah.
Right.
So
it's really tough. It's very subjective. I agree with Carmona. It's subjective. There are times that you are going to bring an army and win best painted with it, and then other times you're going to go with the same exact army to another event and you're not going to get in the showcase.
Yep.
You know, it's one of those things. I've won best painted at an FLG event. I've taken a similar army to another event and didn't finish in the showcase. And was I mad? No, I just kind of went with, this judge who did the painting didn't like my style. It's okay. It's fine.
I can see that. It's just Shazzy has the way basically people collude, you know what I mean, to vote for the friends if you have too many people there, and if you do a popularity vote, you know what I mean? And sometimes they won't vote for the person that's amazing because they just don't know him, or they don't like him, or a combination of both. Now, things that you can do something about. Do you guys look for overall, because there's a ton of armies that when you get super close to them, they have all this crazy work and epic shading and all this other shit. But like some armies just look cool as shit just from a distance as an army. What should be held to a higher standard, or does it matter?
I use a 3-step approach. From 3 steps away, how's it look? Now from 2 steps away, how's it look? On top of it, how does it look? And I have a thing on my rubric called judge's discretion, where there's 10 points that I can give up to for just judge's discretion of that looks awesome. Right. And sometimes it is from 3 steps away that I give them 10 points for that looks awesome. And then when I get into the fine details of judging the painting techniques and all that, they lose some points. But yeah, I think there always needs to be a factor. There's like the synth wave popularity that's growing right now, that like 80s synth wave paint style, which is really just 4 colors on a model done with an airbrush, but it looks cool from a distance.
Mike in the house. But yeah, my thing is that I don't know. As someone, I'm obviously not a painter, so clear. I don't know if you guys didn't know this, but I'm not really a painter. But
Sir, I've seen your artistic work. It was beautiful.
it's because I'm not a painter. I'm an artiste. But my thing is that I really like armies. Obviously, like conversions, but I love an army that I can see from not like a distance, but like that 3 steps, that away, that tabletop, and it looks badass. It looks like an army, you know. Yeah. That's my jam. I'm like, I want that. Cool
I can always tell my early on painting story. I went to an event and they put painting up stuff for judging, and they were like, "Yeah, Brian, your stuff looks good, individual model by individual model." And I was playing Tyranids. This is back in 2nd edition. We're going back a long time. And the guy's like, "But every one of your Tyranid models look different." And I went, "Well, yeah." And he was like, "Well, that's why you got the paint square you got, because it doesn't look like a cohesive army. It looks like you borrowed models from everybody you knew." And I'm like, "No, I intentionally painted it this way." And he was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Well," and back in the day, it was like Tyranids put everything into a digestion pool and something crawls out. And I'm like, "Have you ever taken 2 poops that were the same color?" And that was the reaction I got from the paint judge. And
I
then
agree.
He thought about it for a minute. He went, "Everything is kind of different shades of browns and greens and yellows, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Yep." And he was like, and it completely changed his mind on how my army looked because I gave him a little bit of story about it. So there's always going to be subjectiveness to painting. Right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
I agree completely with Disflux that whenever I paint something, my most important things are the base, the cohesion, and that it looks good from 3 feet away. And that's all that matters. If you look at my stuff up close, it's not as pretty, but it looks like a good cohesive force from across the table, and that's all that matters.
All right. All I have to say is Rhinoceros Rex is currently printing me Armor Contempt and Oath markers. And
nice.
They literally say, "Fuck this particular unit." And I got a picture of them up for it. So I have my Armor Contempt and I have this. So I love everything about these. You're like, this is how I show you exactly who the Oath target is.
I love that.
But I have a huge, this isn't really on hobby, but it is a little bit. I love AIDS. Anything that, yes, I love AIDS. Exactly. That's it. I'm out of here, guys. Magic Johnson AIDS specifically. I love play aids. You know what I mean? Things that help you mark everything, that show that who's getting pluses, who's getting minuses, who's doing this. You know what I mean? So both you and your opponent know what the hell is going on. I think it's a big deal. And they don't have to be sick. You know, you don't have to do a crazy job. If you recall my entire year of Dark Eldar, I wrote everything on pieces of paper and sat them next to everything. But I want to make sure everybody knows what the hell's still going on.
But that works. I mean, like a lot of our guys take poker chips and, you know, like they buy a $5 box of bicycle poker chips and they write +1 save, put it next to the thing, or whatever buff, you know, is covered in an area, so they can keep track of things. It's great for them and you, because then, like, on your personal side of things, you don't forget your rule. And after the game, go, you know, if I'd have just remembered that I had this, I'd have been fine. And it helps your opponent out to go, oh, yeah, I'm not going to target that thing that has +1 to its save. I'm going to go over here.
Right.
So it's nice for everybody.
You know, but the thing is that also you don't want to win games where it feels like you won on a technicality. Either way, you don't want to lose games either. Both. You know what I mean? And you want to feel awesome. You want to, every game that you play, you should be able to be at the bar and telling an awesome story about that game afterwards. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, remember that time that I was playing Sweeping Engagement versus this dick playing Knights? and I needed to go first, and I went a solid second. The opening day of 10th edition. No, but those are fun. You know what I mean? Like, win or lose, you should have a great story of every game of, oh, you son of a bitch with your 11-inch charge. You got this. You know what I mean? These are all great stories. All right, you owe me a drink.
Cruise Hammer, I was playing the guy from Sweden, and I did the math, and I went, the only way I can win this game is if I gambit. I have to gambit. And I pulled off the gambit. I was really happy. And we both went, that was like one of the best games of 40K ever. Like, I was like kind of mad I lost on a gambit, but I'm kind of glad I lost on a gambit at the same time. It was really fun.
Yeah, it's just, those are the things you don't want to be talking about. Hey, man, remember the time I got cheated? You know, like, that's not what you want. You want hilarity. You want awesome sauce. Pepperidge Farm obviously remembers. And who remembers Pepperidge Farms? This guy. Doing stuff and things. You know what I'm super psyched about? My lore cast that I'm going to push out, that I've already got out, and I've been.
So what is the next episode of the Lorecast about?
I am recording tomorrow. Orcs. I'm doing 2 orc episodes. I just recorded the War in Heaven. We did the entire Horus Heresy and then went straight, because why not? Do Horus Heresy and immediately go reverse 65 million years and then put it back in a drive. Then I'm going to do orcs, and I haven't decided whether I'm going to do Tyranids or Eldar after that, but I haven't really pushed it out. We're really working the kinks out, upgrading everything. It's starting to sound actually really good too, and I'm pretty sure that John's just trying to get enough recording of my voice that he's using that goddamn AI technology, and I'm pretty sure he can immediately, if I die, it's not going to even slow down the cast.
We will still have 40K Lorecast because of all of Brad's online presence.
Wog indeed.
Maybe I'd be interested to listen to the orc one personally, because every orc book that I've ever read has been fantastic.
Oh, they're the most powerful race in the galaxy. It's not even close. They will shit into being. They should be the most terrifying thing that's ever happened, but they're comedy gold. That's the whole point.
You remember the time when the guard beat orcs by using finger guns and saying pew pew?
Yeah, they literally, anything they believe happens. You just have to be happy that no one has explained that to them, that they can just go do anything they want. Again, I was literally getting ready for the episode tomorrow. John sent over some notes, and we were talking about teleporters. And he goes, I don't think teleporters are actually anything. It's just a spot for the orcs to stand on and then believe that they can teleport to somewhere. And that's it. They just draw shit on the ground. And that's why orcs are awesome.
And I think I want to say it was either Rogue Trader or Second Edition, where the orcs crashed one of their big hulks onto a planet, the Imperium did, and then they came back years later on a technology-free planet, and they were getting shot by bullets that were made of trees, like giant missiles coming into space of just trees.
One of my favorites, and I'll use this in the cast, is their Inquisition has an orc captive, and they literally have a slugga, and it is just basically a piece of metal, like if a child just cut a piece of metal in the shape of a gun, and they let the orc, everybody's like, what is this? This is just trash. It's a piece of metal. And the orc got into the room and started shooting at them with the thing. You just got to believe, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Danny. He goes, I missed out rubbing the U of M win last week. And then the 3D printer is amazing when you aim to print 200 gaunts for Unending Swarm. That hurt my back just thinking about it.
Piles of gaunts.
Orcs made Horus happen. Orcs, well, I mean, or the old ones did make the orcs, so that's a real thing.
Brad Kerr asked you, have you read Beast Arises?
I've read almost all of those, to be honest with you. That's one I got to do again, though. Here's the answer to that: yes and no. The yes is I audioed it, and the no is I listened to it while I was going to sleep. So I think I've heard the book 3 times now. Have I consciously heard the book all the way through? No. So, can Brad read? That hurts. That's hurtful talk.
The whole Beast Horizon series, I actually really enjoyed. I thought it was really good. It was a multiple author series set in the Horus Heresy. It was really well done.
It's a beast on that. I mean, they've got some. The reason I started playing this game is the lore got me hooked in, and then I just learned how to play the game after I couldn't do anything. I started reading the lore before I started playing the game. So like I was into the game in second when everybody's playing, and I started reading all the books. And then when I had my first open heart and I couldn't do anything, I was just like, show me how to play this. I can't go anywhere. And that's when I started playing. And I started playing competitively in 2000, but I was dicking around with it in the late 90s.
Are there any good Necron books?
Oh, yeah. The
Treason.
Oh, Jim was say the Infinite of the Divine. They literally, it's spy versus spy, and half the people, more than half the people, have no idea what I'm talking about. The old Mad magazine, but I really showed my age on that one. But it is literally 2 unbelievably intelligent, unbelievably petty Necrons fucking with each other in every way possible on a galactic scheme level, though, just doing dumb shit to screw with the other guy. It is a
This sounds fantastic.
Oh,
That's actually that's one of the things I'm looking forward to in the new Necron Codex is the lore of the fight between the Silent King and the Stormlord. I want to see how much they fight. Because everything just seems like they're gonna have a battle inside the Krons.
hold on, that is hurtful, Zach. Steven writes in colored pens so he can have invisible ink for Brad, but visible for everyone else. You guys are dicks now.
But is he wrong?
It depends on the color, goddammit.
Just use a green pen. Brad will never see it.
As people have said, I'm not color blind, I'm color lazy.
Wait. We figured it out. That's how I beat you at Cherokee. Since my models were green, you couldn't see them when you tried.
Oh my god, that was one of my favorites. I literally tried to move the same thing 2 or 3 times, and you kept telling me I couldn't do it. I finally got so frustrated. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're like, there's guys standing right here. And I'm like, oh, well, I can't move there, obviously, Crawley. You're just like, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, I've been saying this for 10 straight minutes that you can't go here. But I would like to go here.
My arm was green. Forgot. Solution found.
I'm gonna pull this out there. Because I agree with Danny right now. The best book in a while, not the best book overall, but the best book in a long time has been the Lions book. I
listen to that.
I really like that book. It felt really tight. It had a lot of story going on, and it was badass.
The thing I've heard from everyone about that book is that the Lions fighting Chaos, and at some point, I apologize if this is a spoiler, but it's not really a spoiler. And he's fighting against Chaos, and he goes, "What kind of hex did you put on me? I'm, and the sorcerers went, dude, you got old."
Dude, that's the Lion's new book. Conrad Cruz's book was fantastic. When he's just literally skating around the ship. It's effectively Alien, but with a Primarch as the alien. Just hunting those guys down and being extra crazy. That book was fantastic. Most of the Horus Heresy they had a lot of good books there, depending on which chapters, legions you liked, obviously. But
hey, KR, I'm undefeated with that list, just so you know. I even played it at Nova in the team event, and we went in the team event with 4 people that didn't even meet each other before. So.
Love it. Build the line and running him, KR. You got to build the line. What's the cool? You know what? I'm just gonna ask it. Screw it. I'm gonna put it in a poll, and I'm just gonna let people write in their answer in chat.
Oh no.
What's the coolest model in 40K?
Oh, that's
and of course people are gonna click yes and no, because you guys are dicks. But write it in chat.
So, what's the coolest model in 40K, like looks wise?
What's the best sculpt? What's the best sculpt in 40K?
Oh, that is such a hard question.
My wife is yelling Nasta Slug from the other room, which is the old Armor Cast Horospecs, which she absolutely loves calling Nasta Slug. So that's her vote. But that's a tough one. Best
New Avatar is sick. Angron's a good pick, Carmona. Brad, I mean, the Avatar's bad. You can never go wrong with the Avatar. The new Avatars, like, he's also a step up from the old Avatar, which was an inch tall. So
can we broaden that out to what's the best model that GW makes, and not just 40K?
Sure. But then you go immediately to AOS shit because their models are cool.
Hell yeah.
It's like not even close. That's why I went 40K, because you immediately go to AOS stuff. Every time I pick a cool model from 40K, I literally go to AOS and I go, oh, but this is a billion times cooler.
40K. All right, so nothing in the Marine line. Absolutely nothing in the Marine line. Sisters line, no.
I mean, Arcane. Yeah. I mean, of course, fucking the Playmaker with Innistrius. Helbrecht is a badass model. You literally have a dude cleaning your sword on the model. And I literally just wanted to play AOS just so I could run Arcane. That's how cool his model is.
I really want to play Lumineth Realm Lord so I can run the giant cow.
Man, I want to go, and it's going to be a basic answer, and I'm looking through my entire collection, but I really want to say, like, one of my favorite models of all time is a captain on bike from Custodes. Like, Custodes models are just so freaking cool, and you have a dude freaking jousting in the 40K universe, like, with a freaking missiles/hurricane bolters on his bike, and, like, I know it's colored by the fact that I started playing them in 8th, but I always think of the Unstoppable Destroyer when I do it, where this dude just goes freaking booking in front of the rest of his group, and he's just like, I'm going to ruin your whole plan, your whole game, everything, just by myself. I'm the victor of the blood games, mother.
I do love that, literally. I love that you're one of the tech races, and you're like, hey, we're going into combat. There's going to be lasers. They're going to be monofilament whips. Things are going to be flying at me. What are you armed with? A lance. What's your backup? This huge fist that I have. You're like,
no, they got a dagger, bro. Misericordia is like a freaking longsword to a human, but they've got a dagger.
Yeah. You know, my favorite model in 40K right now is probably the Void Dragon.
Oh, the Void Dragon's fantastic.
That's just it's one of the models, and I'm just like I'm still like debating how I want to paint it. So I haven't painted mine yet, and it partially because I just love the model so much. I just want to do it justice.
badass. So
no, Custodes is my favorite army, like lore wise.
All I'm saying is I'm ending the poll, and yes, won.
My only good display board is a Custodes display board.
I love everything about this. Tell me a little bit about the. Jesus Christ, I can't talk. Tell me a little bit about your promote yourself. Who cares? I can't talk. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm about to leave. Tell people what you're doing. There you go.
Well, I am currently in the midst of planning a couple events. I'll have more news and information on those in the next week. Just trying to secure venues.
The best model is the Rhino. 100%.
He said that with a straight face. I'm gonna say you need to listen to Lorecast and then watch Dice with Rice. And also, when you're thinking about what you're gonna do in the meta, you need to go watch Deal with It. So.
Oh man, I'm loving it. We might actually be expanding that out for one more show too. So look for that in the future. That one won't do that till January though. So rocking and rolling. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks for letting me deal with the fact that I did not prepare enough for, hey, I need to get some models. When? Right now. And on that note, deuces everyone.